Okay, got to be honest. I love a good cola, you know,
Yeah.
whether you're Team Coke or Team Pepsi.
Yeah, right.
I think these fizzy drinks, they kind of hold a special place in our hearts and our history, right?
Sure, sure. Yeah.
So we're doing a deep dive into the cola wars.
Uh-huh.
And that's that century-long battle of the brands that has gone way beyond just taste.
Right.
We're talking global impact.
Yeah.
We're talking marketing genius, and even a little presidential intervention along the way.
Oh, wow.
Did you know Fanta's origins trace back to World War II Germany?
I did not.
And what is the deal with Mexican Coke anyway?
Yeah.
Get ready for some surprising twists and turns as we unpack how these beverages conquered the world, one sip at a time.
It's fascinating how both of these, like, titans of industry started from such humble beginnings, you know?
Yeah.
Coca-Cola back in 1886 was actually marketed as a medicinal tonic.
Wow.
And Pepsi, first known as Brad's drink, popped up just a few years later in 1893 to think that they would shape global culture and even influence political landscapes.
Yep.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling, isn't it? From small-town pharmacies to household names around the world. I was reading that, like, their initial strategies were completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Like Coke,
Uh-huh.
led by the marketing whiz Asa Candler,
Right.
aimed for that premium top-shelf image,
Yeah.
while Pepsi went for affordability,
Yeah.
targeted the budget-conscious consumer. It's like they were drawing battle lines right from the start.
Totally. And then we have this curveball called Fanta.
Right.
And it's a story you wouldn't believe. Picture this. World War II.
Okay.
Coca-Cola's operations in Nazi Germany are hit hard by supply shortages.
Right.
Max Keith, the guy in charge over there,
Yeah.
has to think fast. What does he do? He whips up a new drink using whatever ingredients he can get his hands on.
Really?
Things like whey and apple pomace.
Wow.
And boom, Fanta is born in 1940.
Hold on. So my favorite childhood orange drink
Yeah.
was actually a product of wartime ingenuity. A bit of trivia I did not see coming.
It's a perfect example of how innovation can spring from the most unexpected circumstances.
Yeah.
And for Fanta, it wasn't just about surviving. It actually became a global sensation after the war,
Right.
especially popular with the younger crowd.
Yeah.
Now it's one of Coca-Cola's heavy hitters, proving that sometimes even lemons or, well, apple pomace can be turned into lemonade.
Yeah. Talk about a sweet success story. That actually brings us to another curious phenomenon,
Uh-huh.
one that's been buzzing around for a while now. Mexican Coke.
Okay.
I've heard diehard fans raving about its superior taste.
Right.
What's the real secret behind it? Is it just clever marketing, or is there something more to this south of the border sensation?
The key difference is the sweetener.
Okay.
Unlike American Coke, which uses high fructose corn syrup,
Yep.
Mexican Coke is made with good old-fashioned cane sugar.
Okay.
A lot of people find it gives it a richer, more natural flavor,
Right.
and they're willing to pay a premium for it.
And there's also that undeniable charm of those classic glass bottles that comes in.
Nostalgia plays a big role here.
Right.
Those glass bottles, they evoke a sense of authenticity, a throwback to simpler times.
Yeah.
It's like they're tapping into this desire for something genuine, a rebellion against the mass-produced, overly processed products that just flood our shelves.
It's amazing how something as simple as a sweetener can create a whole subculture,
Yeah.
almost a movement.
Right?
But speaking of iconic, we can't ignore Coca-Cola's contour glass bottle,
Right.
the one that hit the scene back in 1915.
Yeah.
That design is so recognizable you could probably identify it in the dark.
Yeah, that was no accident.
Right.
The bottle was specifically designed to stand out, to be so distinctive that you could recognize it even if it was broken.
Wow.
That forward-thinking approach to design became a cornerstone of Coca-Cola's brand identity.
And it's been featured in some of the most memorable advertising campaigns ever,
Yeah.
from those classic Norman Rockwell paintings to iconic television commercials.
Yeah, Coca-Cola was brilliant in connecting their bottle with feelings of happiness. Nostalgia, sharing this consistent branding, this constant reinforcement,
Yeah.
created a powerful association in the consumer's mind.
Right.
Even their modern campaigns like Share a Coke, where they print names on bottles,
Yeah.
are cleverly playing on that enduring symbolism.
It's a testament to the power of good design and smart marketing.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But then, in 1975, Pepsi threw a curveball with the Pepsi Challenge.
A Pepsi challenge.
Yeah,
right?
bold move that shook things up a bit, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It was a game changer. The Pepsi challenge involved these blind taste tests,
Right.
and the results were surprising.
Yeah.
Many people actually preferred the sweeter taste of Pepsi.
Wow.
Pepsi then turned those results into a powerful marketing campaign directly challenging Coca-Cola's dominance.
Yeah, that was a direct hit.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how did Coke respond to this sudden attack on their territory?
Well, they definitely felt the pressure.
Yeah.
And that pressure led to what many consider one of the biggest marketing blunders in history.
Yeah.
The launch of New Coke.
Yes, New Coke. That's become a legendary cautionary tale in the business world.
Yeah.
What exactly went wrong?
So in 1985, Coca-Cola,
Right.
in an attempt to combat Pepsi's sweeter flavor, decided to release New Coke.
Okay.
The problem was they completely underestimated the deep loyalty people had to the original formula.
I can only imagine the backlash. People must have been outraged.
Oh, yeah. The public outcry was enormous. People demanded the original Coke back, and Coca-Cola had no choice but to listen.
So how did they recover from such a disaster? Did they just scrap New Coke and pretend it never happened?
Well, they did bring back the original formula, rebranding it as Coca-Cola Classic.
Oh, right.
And you know what? This whole debacle actually ended up working in Coca-Cola's favor.
Really?
The return of the classic version reinforced its image as the original, the authentic, the one and only. It was a remarkable comeback story.
Talk about turning a crisis into an opportunity.
Yeah.
But while Coke was dealing with this chaos, Pepsi was busy playing a different game, weren't they?
Yeah, that's right. While Coke was focusing on nostalgia and tradition, Pepsi decided to go after a younger demographic by aligning themselves with youth culture and pop culture trends.
Yeah, I can see that their celebrity endorsements always seem to feature the biggest stars of the moment.
Exactly. Think Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Britney Spears.
Oh, yeah.
By associating their brand with these huge icons, Pepsi positioned themselves as the rebellious and fun choice, appealing to a whole new generation of consumers.
That was a clever strategy. It seemed like both companies were using completely different playbooks.
Yeah.
But did this rivalry ever go beyond just marketing and advertising?
Oh, it absolutely did. And this is where things get really intriguing.
Okay.
There's actually a fascinating connection between the Cola Wars and the U.S. presidency.
U.S. presidents and cola. Now, that's an unexpected twist. Tell me more.
Well, certain presidents became associated with each brand.
Okay.
We had the Coke presidents like Franklin D. Roosevelt and Dwight D. Eisenhower. During their terms, they actually helped Coca-Cola expand its global reach.
So presidents were basically acting as brand ambassadors. That's wild.
In a way, yes. And then we have the Pepsi president, Richard Nixon.
Nixon, the Watergate guy. What does he have to do with Pepsi?
Believe it or not,
Okay.
Nixon played a key role in helping Pepsi enter the Soviet Union back in 1972.
Really?
This was a massive deal at the time. It made Pepsi the first Western soft drink available in the USSR.
Wow. That must have been a huge victory for Pepsi.
Yeah.
Did Coke ever manage to penetrate that market?
They did eventually,
Okay.
but Pepsi's early entry gave them a significant advantage. Nixon also helped facilitate Pepsi's entry into China when he opened relations with the country. So you see, Nixon's presidency really helped boost Pepsi's global standing.
It's incredible how politics and business can be so intertwined.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, there are other players in the soda game besides these two giants.
You're absolutely right. While the Cola Wars might dominate the headlines,
Right.
there are other contenders who've carved out their own niche in this competitive market.
Right. We have Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
What are their stories?
Take Dr. Pepper, for instance.
Yeah.
It's been around since 1885, predating both Coke and Pepsi.
Wow.
It's remained a favorite thanks to its unique, hard-to-define flavor. And importantly, it's always maintained its independence from the Cola Wars.
So it's like the Switzerland of the soda world. Neutral and loved by many.
Exactly. And then we have 7-Up, a major player in the lemon-lime soda market.
Yeah.
It's been going head-to-head with Coca-Cola Sprite for decades.
And what about Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
It always seemed to target a very specific type of consumer.
Yeah, you're right. Mountain Dew, now a PepsiCo brand, is known for its high caffeine content and those bold, in-your-face flavors.
Yeah.
It successfully targeted a demographic that craves a high-energy, adventurous vibe.
And of course, we can't forget Fanta with its surprising World War II origins. It's now a global leader in the fruity soda market. So with all these players in the game, where do Coke and Pepsi stand today? Who's winning this epic battle for our taste buds in the 21st century?
Well, as of 2023,
Okay.
Coca-Cola still holds the global crown, boasting a 44% market share
Okay.
in the carbonated soft drink market compared to PepsiCo's 25%.
So Coke is still king of the hill. What's their secret weapon?
Coca-Cola's global brand recognition is a major factor. That iconic contour bottle,
Right.
their association with happiness and sharing, these elements resonate around the world.
Yeah.
They've also been strategic in expanding their product line to include a diverse range of beverages beyond just their classic cola.
But Pepsi hasn't been sitting idle, right? What's their strategy?
Pepsi has focused on diversification.
Okay.
They've expanded beyond beverages to include snacks,
Right.
bringing popular brands like Lay's and Doritos under their umbrella.
Right.
They've also recognized the shift in consumer preferences and have been investing in healthier beverage options.
It seems like both companies are constantly adapting, evolving, and trying to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating evolution to witness.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are even more surprises in store as the cola wars continue to rage on. This rivalry is clearly more than just a battle for shelf space. It's a reflection of changing consumer preferences and global trends.
You're absolutely right. This deep dive has only just scratched the surface of the cola wars.
Yeah.
And believe me, there are many more fascinating twists and turns to uncover. What we've explored today is just a taste of the complex history,
Yep.
the marketing genius,
Yeah.
and the global impact of these iconic brands.
Yeah, and on that note, I think we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll delve deeper into the evolving landscape of the beverage industry and explore how these cola titans are adapting to the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. Stay tuned.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive into the cola wars. Before the break, we were discussing how both Coke and Pepsi are adapting to the modern market. It's a dynamic landscape,
Yeah.
constantly evolving as consumer preferences shift and new trends emerge.
It's remarkable how this rivalry has spanned over a century,
Right.
yet both companies are still finding ways to innovate and stay relevant.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what the next chapter of this epic battle will look like.
Right.
What challenges are these beverage giants facing in the 21st century?
Well, one of the biggest shifts we're seeing
Okay.
is a growing demand for healthier options.
Right.
Consumers are becoming more aware of the health implications of sugary drinks,
Yeah.
and they're seeking alternatives.
Makes sense. I've noticed both companies have been heavily promoting their sugar-free alternatives, like Coke Zero Sugar and Pepsi Max.
Yeah.
Are those really catching on?
They are. Sugar-free options are becoming increasingly popular,
Okay.
and both Coke and Pepsi have been investing heavily in research and development
Right.
to improve the taste and appeal of these alternatives.
Okay.
But it's not just about cutting sugar.
Right.
There's also a rising awareness of sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
Consumers are concerned about the environmental impact of their choices, and that includes the beverages they consume.
So are Coke and Pepsi taking any steps to address these environmental concerns? Are they making changes to their production processes or packaging?
They are. Both companies have made commitments to reduce their carbon footprint,
Okay.
improve water efficiency,
Yeah.
and use more sustainable packaging.
Okay.
They're exploring alternative packaging solutions
Right.
like plant-based bottles and recyclable materials,
Yeah.
and investing in renewable energy sources for their manufacturing plants.
That's encouraging to see them taking these issues seriously.
Yeah.
After all, the future of the cola wars
Right.
and the beverage industry as a whole
Right.
hinges on their ability to adapt to these changing priorities. But let's be honest, at the end of the day, taste still reigns supreme right.
Of course, the taste of a product will always be a crucial factor, but it's no longer the only factor. Consumers are making more informed choices,
Right.
considering not just what tastes good,
Yeah.
but what aligns with their values and their vision for a better future.
So the cola wars are evolving beyond just competing for shelf space and market share.
Right.
It's about winning hearts and minds,
Yeah.
appealing to a new generation of consumers who are more conscious and discerning than ever before.
Precisely. It's no longer just about who can create the sweetest soda
Yeah.
or the catchiest jingle.
Right.
It's about who can offer the most appealing combination of taste,
Yeah.
health, sustainability, and brand values. It's
And-
about connecting with consumers on a deeper level and building a relationship that goes beyond just a transactional exchange.
Yeah, this whole deep dive has really opened my eyes to the complexity of these two brands.
For sure.
There's so much history, strategy, and global impact behind those two cans of soda in the grocery aisle.
It's true. The cola wars are a microcosm of the evolution of the global marketplace.
Right.
They reflect changing consumer trends, technological advancements,
Yeah.
and even geopolitical shifts.
Right.
It's a dynamic story that's still being written.
And who knows what the next chapter will bring. Maybe we'll see Coke and Pepsi collaborating on a joint sustainability initiative.
Hmm.
Or perhaps they'll launch entirely new categories of beverages that we can't even imagine yet.
The possibilities are endless. The beverage industry is a hotbed of innovation.
Yeah.
And both Coke and Pepsi are constantly experimenting with new flavors, ingredients, and technologies. It's an exciting time to be a consumer, that's for sure.
Yeah. But let's shift gears for a moment
Okay.
and talk about some of the other contenders in the beverage arena. We've focused a lot on Coke and Pepsi, but let's not forget those other brands vying for a spot on our taste buds. Remember Dr. Pepper, our independent friend with the mysterious flavor?
Right.
They've managed to carve out their own space in this cola-dominated world.
Yeah, that's right. Dr. Pepper has always been a bit of an enigma.
Yeah.
Its unique flavor, stubborn independence, and quirky marketing have helped it build a loyal following over the years. It's proof that you don't have to play the Cola Wars game to be successful in the beverage industry. You can forge your own path and still win over consumers.
That's right. Dr. Pepper's success highlights the importance of brand differentiation and authenticity.
Yeah.
In a market saturated with similar products,
Right.
it's crucial to stand out and offer something unique.
Yeah,
And Dr. Pepper has done just that.
for sure.
They've embraced their quirks
Yeah.
and built a brand that resonates with a specific type of consumer
Right.
who appreciates their unconventional approach.
Exactly.
And let's not forget about 7-Up, holding its own in the lemon-lime category against the might of Sprite. It seems there's room for everyone in this market, as long as you have a strong brand and a dedicated fan base.
That's a great point. Consumer choice is a beautiful thing. We
Yeah.
have so many options to choose from, each with its own unique history, flavor profile, and brand personality. And as the beverage landscape continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more diversity and innovation. But with all this talk about healthier options and sustainability, are traditional sodas on their way out? Are we heading towards a future where those iconic red and blue cans are relegated to the back of the pantry gathering dust?
That's a great question. It's true that consumer preferences are shifting, but I don't think traditional sodas are going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
They still hold a powerful nostalgic appeal.
For sure.
And let's be honest, sometimes you just crave that sugary fizz.
I agree. I think we're moving towards a more diverse and balanced beverage landscape.
Right.
There will always be a place for those classic indulgent sodas.
Yeah.
But they'll need to share the stage with beverages that cater to evolving health and environmental concerns. It's all about finding a balance, offering a variety of choices that meet the diverse needs and desires of consumers.
So we're not necessarily saying goodbye to our beloved colas, but welcoming new players to the party.
Exactly. It's an exciting time for the beverage industry. We're seeing a surge in creativity and innovation,
Right.
with companies experimenting with new flavors, ingredients, and technologies. We have sparkling waters infused with fruit essences, teas brewed with exotic herbs,
Right.
and even functional beverages designed to boost energy or enhance focus.
It's like a giant fizzy playground out there. But if we were to gaze into our crystal ball, what trends do you think will shape the future of the beverage industry?
That's a fascinating question. I think personalization will be a major trend.
Okay.
We're already seeing companies offer customized beverage options,
Right.
tailoring flavors and ingredients to individual preferences. Imagine a world where you can order a soda crafted specifically to your liking,
Right.
with your preferred level of sweetness,
Yeah.
carbonation,
Okay.
and even caffeine.
That would be amazing. What else do you see on the horizon?
Sustainability will continue to be a driving force.
Yeah.
Companies will need to prioritize eco-friendly practices, reduce their environmental impact, and embrace circular economy principles. Consumers are becoming increasingly savvy about the sustainability credentials of brands.
Yeah.
And they're willing to vote with their wallets. We can expect to see more innovative packaging solutions,
Right.
increased use of recycled materials, and a focus on reducing waste throughout the supply chain.
It sounds like the future of the beverage industry is all about striking a balance between indulgence and responsibility.
Exactly.
We want to enjoy our favorite drinks
Yeah,
without compromising our health or the health of the planet.
for sure.
And it seems like both Coke and Pepsi, as well as these other up-and-coming brands, are rising to the challenge.
Absolutely. The beverage industry is in a constant state of flux.
Yeah.
And the cola wars are just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
It's a dynamic and fascinating world full of surprises and endless possibilities.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given me a lot to think about, and I'm sure our listeners are feeling just as energized and informed. But for now, let's take a moment to refresh and recharge. When we return, we'll wrap up our exploration of the cola wars with some final thoughts and a glimpse into what the future might hold for these iconic brands. Welcome back to the deep dive. I don't know about you, but after all that talk about sugary drinks, I'm suddenly feeling a bit parched myself.
It's really amazing how these brands have woven themselves into the fabric of our lives, you know?
Yeah.
They've become like symbols of American culture, global commerce,
Right.
and as we've discovered, even political power plays.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing to think that something as simple as a carbonated beverage could have such a profound impact on the world. We've explored their origins, their marketing battles, their expansion across the globe, and even their surprising connection to U.S. presidents.
Yeah.
It's a story full of twists and turns, wouldn't you say?
It really is. We've seen how they've navigated changing consumer tastes, adopted new technologies,
Yeah.
and faced those pressing challenges like health
Mhm.
concerns and sustainability issues.
Right.
But what stands out to me
All right.
is how Coca-Cola and Pepsi
Yeah.
have managed to maintain this fierce rivalry for over a century
Right.
while also shaping the entire landscape of the beverage industry.
Yeah, it's like this constant push and pull. They're always trying to outdo each other, pushing the boundaries of innovation,
Right.
and ultimately, that benefits us as consumers.
Oh, for sure.
We get iconic products, memorable advertising,
Yeah.
and a rivalry for the ages.
Absolutely. It highlights the power of competition. You know,
Yeah.
it might not always be pretty,
Right.
but it often leads to incredible advancements and innovations. And in the case of the Cola Wars,
Yeah.
it's given us a story that's both entertaining and incredibly insightful.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left feeling a sense of awe
Yeah.
at the sheer scope and influence of these two brands.
For sure.
They've touched the lives of billions of people around the world.
Right.
And their impact is undeniable.
And that's what makes the Cola War such a compelling subject, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just about two companies fighting for market dominance.
Right.
It's a reflection of our own evolving tastes, our values, and even our aspirations as consumers.
So what's the key takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they reach for that next can of Coke or Pepsi?
I think I'd encourage them to consider the bigger picture,
Okay.
to appreciate the history, the innovation,
Yeah.
and the global forces that have shaped these brands into what they are today.
Yeah.
To think about the role they play in our own lives and in the world around us.
And maybe even to be a little adventurous.
Oh, yeah?
To step outside their comfort zone and try something new. Perhaps a Mexican Coke with its cane sugar sweetness, or a Dr. Pepper with its unique and mysterious flavor.
Exactly. The world of beverages is vast and full of exciting possibilities. There's always something new to discover,
Right.
something to tantalize your taste buds and make you think differently about what you're drinking.
Well, dear listener, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the Cola Wars.
Wow.
It's been a fizzy, fascinating journey through history, marketing, and global culture.
Yeah.
But as we've learned, the story is far from over.
Right.
Both Coca-Cola and Pepsi, along with a host of other contenders, are constantly evolving, adapting, and innovating
Yeah.
to meet the demands of a changing world. What does the future hold for these beverage giants? What new trends will emerge? Only time will tell.
For sure.
But one thing is certain, the Cola Wars will continue to captivate us,
Right.
challenge us,
Yeah.
and perhaps even inspire us to think differently about that next sip of our favorite fizzy drunk.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this exciting exploration. Until next time, stay curious, stay thirsty, and keep exploring the fascinating world around you.